I know that this can be super difficult to hear, but so I'm going to preface this by saying that I was one of those souls that incarnated to experience a lot of horrible things. I grew up in a PEDO SEX cult called the Children of God, so this is how I know what I'm talking about. But a lot of times when we feel really helpless to something big in society, for example, like save the children, and we just feel like this is so wrong, I have to stop it, but I can't, there's nothing I can do. It's usually because there's an incident in your specific individual life that's being triggered by seeing this on the outside. And what you're meant to do is resolve it first in yourself, which is something that you can never do as long as you're like focused on how wrong it all is out there and how we can never do anything about it. Like, there is something that you can do, it just feels like a drop in the bucket when you're thinking about the larger problem. But when you actually acknowledge that, like, if I'm seeing it on the outside, it must have a root on the inside. There's something unresolved that I'm not healing. This is what my workshop Wheels Reinvented is all about. When you heal it, you realize that there is something that you can do. So like, I provide the trauma tools for the people who have actually experienced stuff like this so that they can heal, because I know what it's like to be in a really shitty loop that doesn't end, where the abuse keeps happening to you over and over again because you didn't go to the root of it and take it out. And before I had this, and before I really acknowledged like the degree to which it happened to me, I was super frustrated by what was going on the outside. And it was that one thing that kept me from trusting God, because I'd be like, how can I trust God when God's missing this spot over here? But when you heal, you're not healed alone. And when I healed myself and started sharing these tools with other people, I could no longer say that it shouldn't be happening. And I know that it's really hard to hear this, but asking the question, like, I wouldn't change anything about God. I wouldn't change anything about God's creation except for like this thing right here. It's a rite of passage to awakening. Joseph Campbell talks a lot about this. But it's like a rite of passage. So if you're asking this question, like, how can I say yes to God while also saying no to this? You can only ever say yes to God. And when you realize why suffering has to be a part of life, how external suffering is usually pointing to internal suffering, and you alchemize it and you heal it, that's when the lead turns into gold. That's why you realize why you came here. That's why you realize what it's all for. So I give you so much love on this journey. It ain't an easy one, but it's perfect.